Well, my next guest says investing professionals in his generation, and mine, of course, we're the same, got into the business partly because of Gordon Gekko when I bring in Belpointe Chief Strategist. Let David Nelson. David, I mean, listen, I saw the movie at a private screening with Rex Reed. It was so weird because all the critics on the way out were asking, Rex, what you think? Rex, you think? I loved it. I loved it. I mean, listen, I knew he was a bad guy. He had the monogram on the shirt. But this is something that people hear a lot, that if the market's too high, get out. But new highs beget new highs. I mean, if you get out every time it goes up, then will you be in for the next leg up?
If you try to trade around every wiggle, you're gonna miss it all. And I remember when I saw the movie, my hair was down to here. I was a rock and roller, and I saw that speech. And what we don't realize is that half the financial professionals from that era got into this business because of that speech, because they understood the wisdom of those words.
So here we are now. We're at new highs. And again, you know, retail investors are starting to sell a little bit here. They're doing extraordinarily well. How do people give you their money to manage, but when people ask you, independent of that, you know, what do you do at points like this? Is there a strategy?
I just had this conversation over the weekend. I was at a family event, and a relative said, you know, I'm waiting for that dip. I'm waiting for that time to go back in. That same person was saying that like 6 months ago. He's still waiting. He's still waiting for that dip. So unless you have some kind of magic formula that's going to get you in and out of the market, then don't try to play that game, because it's mostly a losing game.
I learned that more in 2009 because the market gets hammered. 2008, everyone's out, everyone's heading for the hills. And I remember that everyone, the talk back then was, hey, the second shoe's going to drop. It's going to be commercial real estate. And so March of 2009, everyone's waiting. And all of a sudden the bottom's in and you don't know it until it's too late. And then your ego says, well, if it gets back to the low, I'll buy.
Yeah, I missed that completely. It's probably my worst year as a financial professional. I stayed bearish too long. I had a decent year, but the market had a great year, and I missed it.
Let me ask you about these earnings. Tomorrow, Bank of America reports Warren Buffett has sold 90% of his stake. Does that worry you?
It would if I was a shareholder. I don't own the stock. I own JPMorgan, and the banking sector is very, very tough, because if there's a black swan living out somewhere, it lives in some regional bank. Now, Bank of America is too big to fail bank. So I don't know how they're going to do in this particular earnings stream. I've tended to stay with the one that's got me through all this. You look from 2007 till now, and the difference betwing these stocks, JPMorgan's right at top.
JPMorgan.
Number
the
one.
Best execution, best
execution. It's the one I can live with in good times and bad.
I know. I saw your note, and you mentioned that the Mag 7 that they're beginning to wane here a little bit.
It's not the Mag 7 anymore.
It's not the Mag 7.
Left.
Two left. What's two
left? You got Nvidia, which is up 167% coming into this week. Meta up 67%. The other five are underperforming the broad market. So if the market's at all-time highs, then something's going on underneath the surface that many investors have missed.
But the Nvidia and the Meta, do you stay with them then?
I own them. They're still top positions for me. Meta's probably my second biggest position.
What's the next big move here for this market? I mean, we're breaking out. I thought we'd at least come back and test the former resistance as support. That didn't happen. So it's up and away. I know new highs beget new highs, and it's sort of infectious. Do you see it gaining more momentum here, or just sideways?
Well, the catalyst right now is, of course, earnings, and we've only had a couple of days of earnings, so it's hard to say on that. The next big catalyst is the election. You're going to see lawyers with parachutes. We're not going to know who is president on election night, so you're going to see lawyers with descend into every county, counting votes, and the market's not going to like that. They're going to be kind of concerned about the...
I hope that's not the case. David, my man, thank you very much. Liz Clayman, you remember that? Greed is good?
Lawyers with parachutes. Oh, my gosh. He is so right.